My name's James Carter, 42, and I just landed what should have been my dream job, police chief in a small Ohio town. It's the place you'd see on a postcard. White picket fences, kids playing in the park, and a diner where the coffee's always hot. But don't let the charm fool you. Small towns have secrets, and not everyone was thrilled to see someone like me, a black man in a sharp suit, stepping into the top job. I expected whispers, maybe some side eyes, but what happened on my first day? That was a whole different beast. It started innocently enough. I was strolling through the park, soaking in the vibe before my first official day at the precinct. The trees swayed, kids laughed, and the air felt crisp. I was just another guy enjoying a walk. Or so I thought. "Hey, you! Stop right there!" a voice barked. I froze, thinking it was meant for someone else, a kid skipping school maybe. But no, it was me. Two officers approached, one tall, built like a tank, with a smirk that screamed trouble, the other shorter, stocky, already reaching for his cuffs like he was itching to use them. "Is there a problem, officers?" I asked, keeping my tone even. "Rule 1, don't escalate." The tall one tilted his head. "What are you doing here?" His voice wasn't curious, it was a challenge. "Just walking," I said, short and sweet. I'd been through this before. The shorter one scoffed. "A walk? In this part of town?" My patience thinned. "Yeah, I just moved here." "Anything else?" They exchanged a look, like two bullies plotting a prank. Before I could blink, the tall one grabbed my arm, spun me around, and slammed me against a park bench. "Standard procedure." He grinned, like he was enjoying every second. "Procedure?" My arms were wrenched back so tight I thought they'd pop. A crowd gathered, some gawked, others pretended not to see, a few pulled out phones. No one stepped in. "Relax," the shorter one said, like this was just another Tuesday. "We're making sure you're not causing trouble." Trouble? The only trouble was these two playing power games with a guy who hadn't even crossed the street wrong. "I don't want problems," I said, swallowing the urge to snap. The tall one leaned in. "Good. We don't take kindly to folks who don't know their place." Their place. Those words burned hotter than the asphalt under my knees. After what felt like forever, they let me up, brushing me off like I was a kid who'd tripped. "Welcome to town." The tall one smirked. "Try not to get into more misunderstandings." They sauntered back to their cruiser, leaving me to adjust my tie and catch my breath. Inside, my shoulder ached, my pride stung, but I kept my face blank. Rule 2, don't let them see you break. Tomorrow, I'd walk into that precinct as their boss. They had no idea what was coming. For now, I let them think they'd won. Sometimes, the best revenge starts with patience. The next morning, I stepped into the precinct, ready to flip the script. The building was grim, flickering lights, chipped paint, but the tension? Electric. Linda, the receptionist, nearly dropped her coffee when she saw me. "Everyone's in the briefing room," she stammered, handing me a folder like it was radioactive. I walked in, and silence hit like a brick wall. There they were, Mike and Greg, my park buddies, lounging in the back, smirking like they owned the place. "Good morning," I said, voice sharp. "I'm James Carter, your new chief. Let's get one thing straight. This job is about professionalism, not power trips. We serve the community, not our egos." Most nodded. Mike, the tall one, leaned back, arms crossed. "So, Chief, what brings you here? Big city life too much for you?" His tone dripped with mockery. "Opportunity," I shot back, "and a chance to fix this department's standards." He didn't flinch, but I wasn't expecting him to. "Not yet." Later, I caught them at the coffee machine. Mike tried his charm. "Coffee, Chief?" "It's fresh-ish." I wasn't playing. "Let's talk about yesterday," I said, stepping close. Two officers gave me a creative welcome. "Care to explain?" Greg froze, eyes wide. Mike shrugged. "Small-town hospitality. No harm, no foul, right? Wrong, I said, locking eyes. The game stopped now. I'm watching. I left them rattled but standing. They thought they had the upper hand. They were dead wrong. Day 2 felt like a storm brewing. The precinct buzzed with gossip, everyone waiting to see how I'd handle the job. I called a department-wide meeting, and the room was packed, officers clutching coffee like it was a lifeline. Mike and Greg sat in the back, whispering like kids passing notes. Good morning, I started, slicing through the chatter. Let's talk about what's changing. Respect. Accountability. Zero tolerance for unprofessional behavior. I didn't name names. Let them sweat. Midway through, I caught Mike yawning. Bold. Greg avoided my gaze, fidgeting with a pen. As the meeting ended, I saw them chuckle over something. I let it slide. Sometimes, you let people dig their graves. By lunch, I'd had enough. I found them in the parking lot, leaning against their cruiser, laughing at Mike's phone. When they saw me, the laughter died. Chief, Mike said, pocketing his phone. Getting some air? Mind if I join? I stepped closer. Greg shifted, uneasy. Mike shrugged. You're precinct chief. Glad you mentioned that, I said. I've been thinking about yesterday's welcome party. Bold move. Was it worth it? Mike's smirk flickered. Just breaking the ice, he said. Breaking the ice? I repeated, nodding. Here's my take. Actions have consequences. From now on, you're under a microscope. Got it? Mike's smirk vanished. Loud and clear, Greg mumbled, staring at his boots. The rest of the day, the precinct felt different, quieter, focused. The storm was closing in. The next morning, I turned up the heat. I sent a department-wide email, impromptu meeting, briefing room, now. No details. When I walked in, the tension was suffocating. Mike and Greg sat in their corner, trying to look casual, but their eyes betrayed them. Morning, I said, calm but firm. Let's talk standards. What does it mean to wear this badge? And what happens when we fail? I paced, letting the silence grow heavy. Accountability isn't optional. Yesterday, I mentioned consequences. Today, you'll see them. The room went still. Mike's jaw tightened. Greg looked ready to bolt. I fired up the projector. This, I said, hitting play, is body cam footage from a recent park interaction. The video was brutal, Mike and Greg grabbing me, slamming me onto a bench, joking about keeping people in their place. Every smug word, every laugh, every shove was crystal clear. The room shifted. Officers exchanged glances, some shaking their heads, others visibly angry. Mike's poker face cracked. Greg looked like he wanted to disappear. When the video ended, I faced the room. This isn't just unprofessional, it's unacceptable. It undermines everything we stand for. It stops now. I turned to Mike and Greg. My office. Now. They hesitated, but I didn't blink. Move. In my office, I leaned against the desk, arms crossed. 2 options, I said. Own your actions, take your punishment, and rebuild trust. Or hand in your badges and find somewhere else to pull this crap. Choose. Greg broke first. Chief, it was stupid. I'll do whatever it takes to fix this. Mike held firm, but his voice wavered. We were doing our job. That wasn't your job. I snapped. That was a power trip. Decide. They left, Greg humbled, Mike fuming. The precinct felt different after that. Quieter. More focused. Officers kept their heads down, maybe out of fear, maybe respect. Either way, it was a start. Mike and Greg would face disciplinary action, suspensions, retraining, and a long road to regain trust. For me, this was just the beginning. I came to change this department, and I wasn't backing down. What do you think? Was James Carter too harsh, or did Mike and Greg get what they deserved? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And let's talk about pranks in relationships. When does breaking the ice go too far? Share your stories and hit that like button if this story got you thinking. Subscribe for more real-life drama that'll keep you glued to your screen.